Okay. Okay, I believe
Did you
we
see
are.
the? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're live now, I believe. Go ahead and let people. Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
So should we start with everything, or should we wait until 1 o'clock?
We'll go ahead and just wait until we get a few more people in here. Let me go
Okay.
ahead and get the link. Oh, wait, everyone has the link. All right, so we're good. Yeah, all right, we got people in here. Crypto, C2, whatever. Sorry, I can't say your last name. Yeah, all right, here we are. 2,500 for the best questions, guys. So I hope you have your thinking caps on.
Doesn't mean the hardest question, right?
Yeah, the the,
Uh,
the, the, the hardest, the one that we have to talk the most, basically, and elaborate the most. All right, so everything was good. Everything coming in good, guys. Go ahead and make Nick the mod, of course. We're just letting everybody get in. We're gonna start at 1.
okay.
I think he already is a mod. Are you already a mod, Nick? I think you are. Yeah, you're like auto mod, Nick. They already knew. They already knew. All right. Cool. Got about 5 minutes.
I saw those new emojis that they
That
created. That's
was awesome.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, never thought I'd have an emoji.
Let me
So
make the default. So hold on a second. All right, go ahead and start. Say something.
yeah. Hello.
All right, you're coming over the loudspeaker.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay. Why can't I set this as a default?
Oh, nice ass. Yeah. Nice. Some one of our team members just dropped a bunch of 2eSam just dropped a bunch of ads and that looks good.
Mm-hmm. Why is this not working? Trying to get you to come over my headphones and not my loudspeaker. I just had a new computer. Everything's freaking
Pull
hitting
the
me terrible.
speakers out. I had to do that, and then it knows to go to the headset. Because when you
Yeah.
have both of them, it seems to get a little confused.
Let's see. All right, talk now.
Yes, testing.
Still the same thing. Such a noob. How's the sound, guys? Is it bad with him coming over like that?
I hear you loud and clear.
All right. We are 3 minutes out, so we got 3 minutes. Playback device.
Nice, dude. Very nice. Okay, we have material.
Yeah, it's a little echoey. It's
It
probably
is.
yeah, it's probably going to be that way. I can kind of DJ it though.
I think if you mute, like it'll. If you mute on your end, then I mute on my end. I don't know if that, like when you're talking, I mute. When I'm talking, you mute. I don't know if that will help it.
Yeah,
I see the larger screen. I see X split broadcaster, and that seems to be like fading in and out. It kind of looks like there's some kind of a connection issue, but I'm not sure if it is a problem or it just that's the way it is.
It's cool. I just have to mute myself when you talk because I'm a noob. So, all right, we're coming up at about 2 minutes. So yeah, I'll just DJ this. It's fine. They're saying it's perfect when I mute.
Okay. All right, that's good.
All right, 1 minute. Go ahead and start. We're good. All right, we are here with the CEO of No Limit Coin, Raphael.
Thank you.
How you doing, bud?
Hey Dan, how you doing today?
Doing great. You?
Good. I'll try not to scream into the mic. I always get that from my family and all that. You scream, so I hear the videos, and I feel I have to get my voice out to the community. But I'll just try to keep it. I just want to say hello to everybody again. This is a good opportunity to talk to everybody, and I'm going to go down the list of everything that's going on, things that we need to talk about. All right. So the most important thing is in our end is that the game is stable. Of course, there's been all kinds of small items, and thanks to the community that everybody comes and points things out and is a little patient. And I'm proud to say that our team clears out most of the issues every single day. So shout out to Pranav and Dharmesh and everybody else that's helping there. So if you find something, come into the Slack rooms, let us know. We've got the improvement rooms, and we're going to talk about really Slack the way it's developing into really the corporation, and we're going to tweak a few things, but it's becoming a great way for the project to come together, to specialize into special rooms, and to produce whatever it is that we need to produce. And we're going to talk about that right now. Registrations are accelerating. Like I said, we're not going to give numbers in the middle of the season just because we're doing so many things, and we want to present a report at the end of the season. But I could say this, that it's hundreds a day, not thousands yet. So I'm happy about that. The BCC email on the registrations just shooting off every couple of seconds, so I love when that happens. And you might have I'm sure that if you follow NLC2 closely, you might have seen we ran into an attempted hack a few days ago. It seems like, I don't know, a year ago, and it seemed like the whole thing took forever, but it was just days. But the intensity level was very high. I mean, you can imagine me waking up to something like that, right? So, but luckily, they didn't get as far as being able to get coin. We have all our servers with 2FA and all the important things with 2FA. But I really want to talk about this a little bit because it was a watershed moment. It was something that taught me, and I think a lot of people, and I don't think you can ever stop learning about security. Amazingly, and I guess that's one of the great flatteries, that we could have as a group after talking to him, because he actually called me and initially, I'm gonna tell you guys what happened, which is it's an amazing story. But the bottom line is we started talking, and at the end of the conversation, he's like, you know what, I really like what you're doing with NLC2. I said, look, he wanted 5 million NLC. I said, that's not going to happen. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to happen. Why don't you become our security consultant? We'll pay you under normal circumstances. And he went for it. And now we talk regularly, and we discuss so many issues. And I told him, I need to know how you did this. So I'm just going to go briefly into the world of that we live in, and we're totally, or at least some of us, think that we know what we're doing with security, but there's always tiny little doors that we can't leave open. And the big hole is our phone. So here it goes, okay? The way he was able to hack what he did was the following, and it's a little scary. He was able to go into AT&T. That's where it started. I mean, nobody thinks about that. The phone is the key. So what happened? He goes into AT&T. He was able to hijack the phone, then reset the passwords on the email connected to that phone, and gain access to specific areas, including the GoDaddy account with the websites where he was able to change the home pages to do that. So I'm on the phone with GoDaddy. We're in the account, and this is another thing that I need to talk to. I don't even know his name, but we talk a lot. We chat, and we're gonna get him into a chat room with all of our top security people. He agreed to that, so that's going to be kind of interesting. And essentially, I had the GoDaddy people on the phone, and we would change the redirect of the page. And of course, the password was changed, the 2FA was changed, yet the redirect keep coming up. So even the GoDaddy people didn't understand how, in front of our eyes, you'd see the redirect screen where we would clear it out, and then it would come back to that page that demanded the ransom. So that's still something that I'm not quite sure how he was doing that. So I got to ask him that. But that's the path. That's the path to being able to hack somebody. It's through the phone. So we need to make sure that even our phone account is locked with 2FA. I'm not even sure if AT&T has that. We need to make sure that we don't use the same email addresses for things that are high security in our phone, and certainly put 2FA on every single thing, including your Google email accounts. That's for sure. So we got through it. We learned a lot. We're moving forward. We got the hacker essentially as our consultant now for security. We're going to create a room. It's going to be by invite only. Only the top security people are going to be able to join that. I invite really all our devs, because we all need to listen to this and how to close every single, because you could have very, very high security everywhere, and then you could have a weak link, and then boom, it doesn't mean a thing. So yes, it was a close one. Not really. I mean, the servers, the coin, everything was under 2FA, different emails, so there was no way he could have touched that. But still, he got into some sensitive areas, and it was pretty shocking. So going into Slack and the way Slack has developed essentially into sort of the corporation. That's where the corporation lives, and now we're creating separate groups, and it's very useful. So I want to continue that path, and you guys know XP, Nicholas. He's our official administrator now. So basically, we've got a lot of people now that are doing things for NLC2. They're able to build some hours at a reasonable rate, and Nick manages that side of it. So we're going to continue on that path, and what we want to do is create very specialized rooms where we could have the security people, marketing people, advertisement, and other areas. For example, we want to create a room for video. I mean, if there's people out there that want to maybe help us to create some videos, I have an unlimited appetite for videos. So we've got somebody that's fixing the old video. Yes, it talks about staking and POS and POW, and it's wrong. It's old, and I've been told many times about this. So we're working on that. We should have it fixed very soon. We're producing multiple videos for crypto and other areas. But if there's other people out there that want to help us out producing videos, maybe commercials, we have unlimited appetite for that. We've got television going in to local Los Angeles markets on Monday Night Football, NFL Network. Yes, it's only the Los Angeles market, but eventually we'll go into other markets. And I'm interested in markets internationally, because I know that we can get into some local soccer TV games where we can probably get some excellent deals. Of course, it's all about digital advertisement, and we also, and I want to ask everybody, so I want to use this opportunity to actually make it like a corporate meeting, right? So we've got a lot of people already helping us with the advertising side of it. So what I want Nick also to put all the people in the advertisement area, let's put all of those in a room. And there's a company, I've talked about them, they're on our website, they're called brewinghot.com. They're an ad agency. So what we want for the ad agency is to consolidate everybody that's helping us with advertisement, and that way we don't have one person over here doing Facebook, one person over there doing this, doing that, doing the other, and I'm just throwing money all over the place and not really understanding what's going on. We just put everything under a single roof, and then we let Brewing Hot kind of centralize the information and then present it to us, me, Dan, etc. And I think this is a good way. So Nick, let's get all the advertisement people into a room, and start figuring out, okay, you're doing this amount, you're doing that, and then we put everything together, and then get the Brewing Hot people in there so they can start to consolidate all that information. So that's our advertisement room. Very important to get everybody that participates. And you can see how our staff is growing exponentially, and it's pretty impressive. And it's all NLC2 passionate people. So it's a very unique and special way for a company to develop. It's not a common way. Normally companies hire people and all they want to do is, how much are you going to pay me? But there's a lot of passion here and it's exciting. Same thing for the data feed. We've got a few people out there that are really helping us a lot. Just don't shoot me when you find a mistake. We'll fix it. But, so we've got all the soccer pros looking at the feeds and making sure, hey, why is this player twice? Or there's some issues that seem to be coming up. So let's get all of those people together, because our data, because I gave the email to our data feed people, to a few of the guys, and they just pummeled our data people. So my Dustin, if you're listening, I got it. So we got to get all those people in a room, get all those data feed issues kind of consolidated, make sure it's not on our end, and then we issue the report over to Fantasy Data, and then they'll take care of it. So that's great too. We're gonna have a raw data feed, so you guys could have access to all the player data just in one single view, and be able to figure out what's going on. Why is this player here and not there? Why is he showing up twice? What's going on? We definitely want to move forward into the cups, which is very exciting. We absolutely will create a great FIFA World Cup section in the game. I mean, we have to start now. It's still a year away, but we want to be ready for that, and for the other cups, because people love the other cups. So we want to set up fantasy for the cups. Initially, we said, all right, let's just do the leagues. We're going to increase probably 3 or 4 more leagues so you can put together the team. And one of the comments that I got from somebody was, hey, we need to use game week to be able to condense, to be able to use the players. But when we use 7 different leagues, it's a little hard to do that. So we got to talk about that. White paper, it's in its final stages. We've got a team also collaborating there. Very exciting to have a team like that, because it's not just one person kind of doing something. So we're probably days away from that. I don't know if you guys may have seen. We've got a billboard in Mexico, and we've got full use of it. I can probably show you guys that here. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, Billboard is amazing.
So it's pretty cool. Our partner, our main investor, or at least our cash investor, right? We've got a lot of NLC2 investors now, but that's his hotel. He put up the board, and it was making a couple of grand for him. Nothing big. So I told him, I said, you know what, I want. He says, it's yours. So it's ours. And we're gonna start running it, and start inviting people to some local events. He's got very nice rooms there. He's gonna give us drinks and food, and then later, of course, people can maybe order drinks or something. But initially, we're gonna go in there and maybe host a monthly get together, watch NFL Monday Night Football, close out the week, see who got there. So that's kind of exciting also. And if there's anybody out there in Mexico, los invito a que me ayuden a formar una comunidad local, formar una liga local, y vamos a tener muchas facilidades para que florezca una liga localmente. There, now I got my Spanish. We're definitely we're moving on all the sports. We're moving on all the sports, and NFL, NBA, soccer. I want to hear from everybody if we need to do probably. I mean, there's no question NCAA basketball is is great. The tournament. So we need to move in those directions, and we've got basically the pipes into the data. So it's not going to be hard to include all the other sports, even NASCAR, esports. We're looking for the MMA feeds and so forth. So there's definitely going to be acceleration in future sports development. We want basketball to start with the season. So once basketball starts, we're going to have three sports moving at the same time. So the more people play, the more they need NLC, and everything else. We know how that works. Um, so in terms of contests, we also want to have a room with people with ideas for contest structures, and Jack Fox, he's also on the board, and of course Dan is very experienced in this area. So let's get that room together, and if anybody's got some ideas that they want to implement, we'll listen to them. I wanted to also, the reason I was sharing here, I wanted to talk about Centra Tech. It's the Central card. I've been in touch with XBTCE very often. We're going to be listed in XBTCE. We're looking at other exchanges, Altcoin, Binance, and other in China. We have a person that's trying to help us. And of course, the elephant in the room, I know it, Bittrex. I'm in email contact, and he said, when NFL starts, send me everything. And I said, not only am I going to send you all our documentation and show you what's going on with NFL, but we're going to show you our legal opinions. So that should be a helpful thing. So, yeah, we've got a few tailgate parties already, or people committed to tailgate parties. So it's still wide open. You get paid $750 for each tailgate, and you can 250 of that will be for drinks. So if we've got Lambeau Field, I love saying that. We got Chargers because I'm doing that. And I told Oscar, he's out there, he is on the board, founder. He's been my buddy forever, backing me in every single project, all the bad ones, and then now this one, right? And I told Oscar, I said, if you don't get me somebody for the Rams tailgate, you're gonna have to do it. So um, we so so that's really, and I just want to say we're open to one of our main objectives is to find other places where NLC can live or be used. We're looking at some telecom applications. I mean, we're all telecom people, so at some point, if we could have a telecom business that uses NLC2 for payment, that's interesting to us. So we're actually looking at people that have operating businesses with volume to the point where we might get involved. Essentially, potentially as an acquisition, we're open to acquire websites with traffic, obviously at reasonable prices, or games that are already operating and have usage. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm pretty happy with everything. I mean, there's nothing really right now that is just a major thing. Of course, we know that the hack attempt just threw us for a loop a few days, so kind of set us back. But we came out much stronger. We've got security steps on the way, and okay. So going back to the Central card, sorry about that. So XBTC is going to list us, and they are one of the exchanges that is going to have one of these cards, and it's going to actually say XBTCE card, and we're gonna essentially get into this card as the second phase. So you can see the type of coins that are in this card, and essentially this is a card that you can just go spend anywhere. It will have a Visa logo, and you can spend it, and it'll take from whatever coin you want it to take. So if today you want to use Bitcoin to pay, you can use that, and then they'll liquidate only the piece that you spent. So we're going to get no limit coin in here, and that's pretty exciting too. So I'm talking to the CEO of Centra, and I know there's a few people already on my end that want to get one of the $5,000 cards. So I'm gonna try to see if Sam's, if you're listening, Sam, I'm sure you will watch this. Let's talk. Let's try to do something, and I'll get you some people in there. But they raised, I believe, $8 million right away, so they're for real, and it's pretty exciting. So that's it. That's kind of my announcement.
Okay,
So
cool.
just let's
Jump right.
create those Slack rooms. Let's get specialized. Let's get the advertising people together. Let's get the people to create videos together. Kuram, I need you to get on those videos quick because that communication gap is too long. Nick's out there. He's our administrator now, so he's coordinating everything. We got to get more videos and the old one fixed. And we got those designers producing amazing material, both the new redesign, new ads, new homepage, and they're very nice. And I think Dan's going to put it up to a vote. So it's going to be, I mean, total community involvement. When a lot of people opinionate and give their ideas, you always come out with something better. So that's pretty exciting also.
Yep.
So we had first good week. Some people won. Most people, got paid something. So that's pretty good. And as we move forward, the contests are going to grow more. And as we hit NFL, they're going to explode. So the server is very good. I mean, initially we had some pieces in there that were slow. So we attacked that and we optimized the queries. And if you look right now, I mean, we've got a 32 core servers monster machine. And we've never even gotten beyond 20% usage. I look at the usage charts and we never even, surpassed that even on a glitch. It's usually around 5%, but we don't have the crush yet from NFL.
Cool.
So,
well, let's
I'm
go ahead and
happy.
jump into some of these questions because they're piling up big time. Guys, we're going to give you probably another 20 minutes to submit a question, and we're going to have to kill it there because there's just already a lot of them. All right. And try to only type questions in, guys, please. It makes my life a little easier. All right. First question is from... All right. 1 second. All right, Dan Engler. What is our plan to handle?
I can hear the feed, delayed. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but I don't know if it's. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Dan Engler. What is our plan to handle customer service as we plan to scale? Will we outsource or hire internally?
That's a great question. I mean, it's all about that, and I've been helping people, and I know everybody on Slack helps the people with the wallets, and we're gonna have to work on the wallets and let people know about the sync issue and then the blockchain. I guess Rob, you have to rebuild it, maybe build a tool for do that. But definitely, we need a formal customer service channel or infrastructure. I mean, I love how the people from within don't have to be schooled. They don't have to be told a thing. They know what to do. They're they're in an NLC2 mindset. So I'm like 100% about getting people from within the group. I mean, really, it's such a huge difference than when you just go out and just get people and say, "Here, I'll pay you to do this." So we do. We need to have we need to have definitely a customer service area, and as the queries and the requests grow, it will need to be kind of a 724 area. So that's a good point, and we must get that up very, very soon. We have a ticket tracker. It's internal, but we need to have a help desk app like Zendesk or something like that, and then move to that. So great point. That's probably. I mean, that's like a great question. That could win because I mean, that's like, hey, Rafael, get on that too because I can't. We don't want to leave anybody hanging anytime, and I don't believe in leaving any situation overnight. Everything has to get resolved the same day. You can't let people hang there for days and days like exchanges tend to do. So scary. I know that some of the withdrawals have taken a few days, but we do a lot of study. We make sure that none of these accounts are parallel. So we've been very careful now that it's so much money. Yeah.
Okay,
Great
cool.
question.
Yeah, I think Dan was heads up last time, so he already set the bar. Okay. Sounds of the underground. Given the recent statements by the SEC regarding securities, does No Limit Coin 2 fall under that category? According to the SEC, U.S. investors cannot hold trade tokens considered securities.
Right. There's no question that the crypto world is it's like is way, way, way ahead of what the actual laws are doing. I mean, they're still trying to figure out if Bitcoin's money or not. I think it's one of the states said it's not money. I think Florida said it's not money, but some states have said yes, it is money. So as time passes, we monitor the laws, and whatever laws come up and rules that come up in terms of a crypto, then we're gonna follow those. In terms of the individual, it's really up to the individual to figure out how does that play into everybody's uh, taxation or really accounting. But at this point, it's still up in the air. My accountant doesn't know what to do, and they don't know. So at this point, we're just monitoring what comes out of either the state or federal rules, and whatever comes up, then we're going to have to adjust. But in the meantime, we're managing it as best as possible. We're keeping good records. Um, but it's a very good question, and countries themselves, they're all scratching their heads. They don't know how to deal with crypto because how do you control it? How do you measure it? That's not for us to worry about. But once the rules do come up, we're going to comply with them. That's
That's
for
for
sure.
sure.
And
And
if
if anybody out
there
there,
um, runs up against something that is worthwhile to analyze, make sure that we get it. We try to monitor and see, okay, are we good here? Are we good there? I mean, you can see that we've got the no cost platform, which is frustrating a lot of people in states that they can't play the crypto version. They can play some of the free rolls, but not for the big money. And we've already got 7 states that are now being processed. So we've got 7 states. I've got the list here somewhere. Um, that our investor not just approved, but is paying for with dollars, with cash. So no touching coin for for nothing. So basically, that's where we're at. But it's a very important subject, and as the rules come out and come up, we're going to have to comply, and we plan 100% to comply with them.
Okay, cool, great. All right, moving on. Cryptic Potato. What does No Limit Coin 2 plan to do with the future competition that arises in the realm of fantasy sports?
Well, I mean, we don't need to wait for the future. It's here. Competition is brutal. DraftKings and FanDuel, make it very hard, at least up to when NLC took off. That changed the equation, and I think the question that needs to be answered is by them. They need to be huddling DraftKings and FanDuel and saying, "What are we going to do about such a thing?" So certainly we look at competitors, but the combo where we have the platform and the coin to work together is unique. Nobody has this, so I don't see others as competitors. I think they're just people within our industry with different angles, and the competition is already there. But we're getting big registrations. People are appreciating the game. Yes, some of the really hardcore players, yeah, they're saying, hey, we need to get the look and the feel improved. So yes, I mean the whole community is working hard towards that revamp, and we're going to see it very soon. And I've seen some of the initial work just a few minutes ago by one of our designers, and it's mind-boggling. It's great. So
so
yeah, I mean, we'll always look at competition, but right now we're the only game in town, at least from what we're doing. So we're going to have a very strong competitive position. We're going to exploit that. We're going to go out on TV and talk about No Limit Coin and how it could be used to play fantasy sports. And now you're not only playing a fantasy sports game, you're actually writing a coin that could potentially be a monster investment, and already has been for a lot of people. So competition is always there, uh, but we've got the goods. We've got the goods. So
Yep.
that's not. I don't see it right now.
We got first right away, so that's all. That's very important. We're so ahead of the game that it's not even funny. They're gonna be. They have to start on our dust and then catch up. So, all right, moving on.
Yeah.
Mod Ali. No Limit Coin 2 will add poker in the future? Question mark.
Poker, online poker is very restricted in the United States. Internationally, it moves around. I'd rather just get into a poker site. So if there's a poker site out there that thinks crypto is good for them, we're interested. We can help. I think I would love to. I mean, I love to play poker. I know Dan, I haven't played it, I don't know how long, but we play tournaments. Dan likes it. So if we could one day be in a poker platform, I think that would be very positive. In terms of us doing it, I mean, I'd love to do it, but the legality of it is what is would restrict us. So it's something that we may look at and say, well, we can't run it in the United States, but we might be able to run it in this country or in that country. But it's very difficult to have a successful poker site, because if you don't have the critical mass, like from day one, it's very hard. Now it's the same with fantasy, and we're getting critical mass. So who knows, right? But if there's a poker platform that's already out there, hey, come to No Limit Coin. Let's get it into your platform. I think that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. We should focus 100% on what we do best is fantasy. And, yep. All right, moving on. Michael Van Den Steen. It's a fucking pretty gangster name. If the competition picks up cryptocurrency as a payment method tomorrow, how will No Limit Fantasy Sports differ from the competition?
Certainly, if we have a competitor that also adopts a coin, I guess it would put us a little closer to what we're doing, and that's why we not only have to excel from the point of view of being a great coin and a great community, having great development, having great customer service, solving all the problems, we have to be better in the game also, and we're doing that. So we don't expect to be the only ones for a while, or it might happen very, very quickly. So certainly we will consider the competition, try to compete, try to be better. People have mentioned, hey, but you've got so much coin stored away. Yeah, well, that coin can be used for, the only thing it can be used for is for the business itself. So that, in a way, gives us a war chest to be able to go and do the things we want to do, juice up the games. You can see how we've got add-ons onto the amount of NLC. So we've got a lot of firepower to be able to get people really excited and into our game. But yeah, I mean, DraftKings, FanDuel, what, they can just come to us. They can use NLC2, right? Or just get the coin up to $5 and buy it all, right? But certainly, I think it would be crazy for other platforms not to start using crypto. I think it would, because it's just such an efficient way. I mean, we don't need to go into that, but it works very well. All the deposits into the system are working perfectly. Withdrawals also, most of them are out. There's a couple that we're studying. So I understand there's when you do something good, when you do something correct, there's always going to be competition. So yeah, we're all just going to have to stay one step ahead, sound the alarm when you see something, and we attack. with some competitive countermeasure.
And I'll go ahead and add basically, people were asking why didn't Blockbuster go to online video? Some people just don't want to take the risk. And, while they're sitting on the sideline debating, we're already on the soccer, almost on the NFL. We're not worried about competition or outside sources. We're just going to make our game the best. And, if they jump on the board, they should have a long time ago. The fact that they haven't should raise question marks. But yeah, go ahead and move on to the next question. Tim iCoin. It's a pretty cool name. Okay, Mr. Raphael, what was the biggest challenge or problem you faced with No Limit Coin 2 so far, and how did you handle it?
That's a good question. I mean, initially it wasn't going anywhere, right? But it wasn't going anywhere in terms of price, but it was being used in the game, and it was working well. So that didn't seem like a problem. Um, I would say the attempted hack, probably. Yeah, that's probably the the thing that caught us off guard, and luckily we were able to resolve that. But the web wallet, I mean, it's out there, right? It's on the internet. It's like every day I'm thinking, wow. But now we've put so much security on that thing that even big transactions are actually, they get instead of you being able to, like, anything over 60,000 comes to one of us, and we have to do it. It's a double signature approval. So we've got all these locks in there just to prevent any issues. But it's actually been joyful. It's actually been a very nice experience. Sooner, okay, he's our crypto engineer, but we're adding to that staff. And it's been a great experience working with him and making changes. And now that we are moving forward, now we have to fill in the gaps and fix the things and fix the wallet with the sync. And people are worried about when it says out of sync, and basically it's just updating the blockchain. But yeah, it should say, hey, wait until the blockchain is updated. So I think it's a big undertaking, certainly a lot bigger than what I thought originally. But as things started falling into place, as the platform was efficient, then people started realizing that, one and one is two. Platform, crypto, boom. And we see what has happened to the other fantasy sites, which is what we all were drawn to, which is being able to have a legal way to essentially play fantasy sports for money in the United States and other countries. So it's been a great experience up to now. I have nothing to complain about, but it is, it's scary. I mean, it's like the money it's not, you can't put it in a box, right? It's like vapor. You have to protect it. And it's that's the big thing. That's what keeps us all up at night. But up to now, we're doing good. Most of the coin is in cold storage out in a safe place. So I think it's great. I think the worst part of everything is just the fear of the hacks. The fear, and then when they happen, that's worse. But then when you can get through it, you're like, whoa. So good lesson.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to get through your worst fears, that's for sure. Speaking of security, Kenneth Alashkin? Security seems to be a major issue every day in the crypto space. Where's the safest place to store my No Limit Coin 2? Are all of the wallets equally as safe?
The safest place is your local computer, which some people don't feel that that's the case, but it really is, because when it's inside your local computer, you're essentially protected, hopefully, by your router that you have, which is the first firewall, and then you're supposed to have some type of a antivirus. And it's a lot easier to hack something that's on the web that that you can access, somebody's email, and start brute forcing passwords in there, and then the system gets shut down, and then you go for a reset, and if they have your phone, boom, you're done. So 2FA is key. So really, the safest place is inside your local computer. Just make sure that you took all the steps to back up the wallet. And Nick is looking into a hardware solution. So we want to have a hardware solution, basically a local hardware solution where you could store it, and that is something. But certainly the web wallet, I hate to say it, but it's the least secure place. The exchanges, I mean, similar. They're on the web. They're accessible. So with the exchanges, you go in there, you do your thing, and you get out. Get the coin into your local account. So please, if you have any significant amount of coin, put it onto your local wallet, and only use the web wallet as kind of a transition area. Don't put a lot there, and but do have it, because it's a very nice and simple way to show off the coin and give some to people. Here, I'm going to send you 10 coin. Open up a wallet. Boom. Here's 5 no limit coin. Hey, that was cool. How do I get more? It's always the question. So, but definitely keep your coins locally. That's for sure.
Okay, great. Yagana Yanova. I think the biggest profit market in Europe. I think the biggest profit market in Europe is Germany. In case DraftKings comes to Germany a few months ago, what are our plans to get the German market? Huge potential here, especially for soccer. Thank you.
I've already. You know what? We're looking at the feeds already. We're negotiating to add 3 more feeds, maybe 4. Germany was one of them. Italy, Brazil, and I can't remember which one was the other one. But I agree. Germany is very important, and we must not only be available into that market, but we should also bring that league in, and we're going to do that. So it's a great point, and we want to service or provide service to the market as the person asking is absolutely correct. So yes, absolutely on that.
Okay, great. Okay, this is Nick. If you want to go ahead and put a stop to the questions, just so I know where to stop. We're going to go ahead and kill the questions now because we still have a bunch and we're already going on an hour. Okay, next, free donor. Is Raphael's wife finally satisfied with the particular business idea? It's a little personal, but it is related to No Limit Coin.
Wait, do you know my wife? Or, I mean, how would you know? She, when I had my business, long time ago, Mexico, she was my secretary. So, you know how that goes, right? So she, that's how we got together, and we met through the business. But after like 10 or 15 years of this idea and that idea and losing money and this one and then that one, I think she just started like to, kind of fade out a little bit. But now she saw how serious this is, and she's on, she's on board. She's working hard, actually. But it was a funny question because, I mean, crypto and with Bitcoin and with the mining, she just would look at me like, what? But hey, she is on board, and she's finally seen what's going on, and she sees me with, what I'm going through, and so. But that was you must know her, but she's great. She's great, and she's supportive, and she understands what's going on, and she's helping. She does the accounting, deals with the accountants, which is my least favorite subject. So she's on board too. Yeah, good question.
Good answer. Good, spot on. All right. Nick Pluto, do you guys have plans for email marketing campaigns to engage with the platform users? And if so, have you considered offering free coins to re-engage non-active users?
I mean, yes, and we actually have to get our blast out to our base. We haven't even done that, but we're waiting for the NFL season to get a little closer. If we could get our hands on email addresses that we know are valid and real, of course, that would be a very important way to market. We used RotoWire last year, and the email blast. We're going to do it again this year in I think in November, because they sold out of their email blasts. So that works really well for their base. I have yet to find a service that can deliver email addresses that are clean and real. There's a lot of people that want to sell you email addresses, but it's junk. So if we could find tested email addresses for certain demographics, I think we would absolutely do that and start just sending off emails, not cross the line into the spam, but we're wide open to go out there and say, hey, come in here, here's some no limit coin. And that's kind of the beauty. We're getting a lot of people that don't know about fantasy sports, but they're like, I love coin, and they get into it. And after they get into it, they realize that it's a very fun thing to do. Now they're watching all the games and getting all the information, which is what happens to everybody. So I would love to do it, and we're going to do it with our own installed base, that's for sure. We don't want to overdo it, because who likes getting tons of emails? But if we could get a base, that would be very positive. So yes. And you should get into the advertisement room that Nick is going to create, where Brewing Hot's going to be our Facebook guy, our Twitter guy, the whole team. Get in there and let's discuss all of these different ways that we could get our word out there. If you bring an email solution, or somebody can bring a good email solution, we'll do it. So yes.
Okay, great. Van Azim, how do I volunteer? Yeah, everything. Just go ahead into the Slack and get into game creation, and we can use you there for soccer. All right. Dan E. This is his second question. I remember when Dan E's first question, because he started off with a boom. My understanding is that currently, if a player attempts to withdraw from the website, it has to be processed and manually sent. Will this ever be automated? How will we scale if it is a manual process?
Yes. The withdrawal process. It's very close to the point where I'm going to be comfortable to make it automatic. The reason it's still semi-manual is because we make sure that there's been cases where people open multiple accounts, and then we don't allow that. So we look for that, and we'll basically invalidate that account. So that's really been the thing that slows us down a little bit. And I just felt a little eerie, just doing the automatic thing. But I promise that within 30 days, it will be automatic, because we would have basically isolated all of those cases which I'm discussing, and narrowed the parameters for an automatic withdrawal. And you can see that we've got an automatic deposit, so we can do it. It's just a matter of doing it and feeling comfortable with it. So you're absolutely right. The whole key to crypto is easy and frictionless movement of money. So yes, the withdrawal has to be there. So I'm going to make sure that this becomes a very high priority. And and we might just right now, let's say anything under, let's say, X amount, like 500 or 200 coin, boom, automatic, it goes. But then we get the bigger ones, we got to study them a little bit, make sure that there wasn't like collusion going on and that kind of thing, and then we ban them and boom, cancel the account. And we've done a bunch of those. So that's a great point. I mean, I think that's like one of the biggest points that have been made today. We have to solve that, and it will be solvable, and it will be very, very soon. So I appreciate that, and you're absolutely correct. We must have the auto deposit and then the auto withdrawal. We're almost there.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
Killing it, Dan E. Eli Sanchez, after the bulk of the popular fantasy sports are over, how do you expect the coin to do over the summer, and why should I hold?
Because there's going to be no more over. There is no over when you have all the sports. We're going to be 365 now, because first of all, soccer's year round. Of course, they have the breaks between the seasons, but we've got a lot of leagues. That's A. B, we're adding all the sports: basketball, baseball, NHL, and there's never going to be any, even NCAA we're looking at, NASCAR we've got the feeds. Everybody wants MMA, so we're looking for those feeds. There's even an esport feed that is going to come online at Fantasy Data, and it was hard for me to to understand that at first, but I have learned that it's a huge market, the gamers. So we're going to cater to everybody. We've got the platform, we've got the coin. So I don't think there's going to be any more interruption in terms of usage. And on top of that, I mean, No Limit Fantasy Sports, or the crypto platform, is really the beginning for NLC2. I mean, the name says it, No Limit Coin, and we're actively looking for other platforms for NLC to live in, to the point where we're willing to acquire businesses now, and our investor is willing to throw in real cash for situations like that, so we don't have to rely on the coin alone. But we're open to acquisitions because we want to grow the base of platforms that use NLC2. So I don't think that's something that you should even consider. And even if there were to be an interruption, the coin's still living, breathing, trading, and the investors don't have a one-day view on things. The investors are putting two and two together, studying the project, and then invest accordingly into the long term. Just ask all the people that bought in from 5 satoshis up to 4,000 that we are right now. But even now, it just seems like there's so much room to grow. And if we're where we are now, then put all of the sports into the mix, put a couple of million players on the platform. What are you going to get? I mean, do the math. So that's not going to happen. There's going to be no more interruptions. We've got baseball that's going to come. Baseball plays through the summer, so we're going to be fine there. And baseball is very, very popular.
Yeah, definitely. No lulls. Jeremy. No lulls. Jeremy. What do you think is the most successful thing in the entire No Limit Coin 2 project?
That's the easiest question of the night. The best thing is the community, the Slack group, how it has evolved into essentially like a corporation. I get these groups, I put the experts in the groups, boom, we've got results overnight. It's a truly unique experience for me, and it was incredible how we could get up to speed. And of course, I have to thank Dan for that, because he's the architect of our Slack room. And it went from 0 to almost 1,000 in a matter of a few weeks. So there's no question that that's the most successful part of all, because that has spread. I mean, every person that's in there is like an ambassador, and they're passionate, and it's a project that anybody that wants to join and help and participate, there's room for you, because our task is so big and our market is so big, and our angle is that's our angle. I mean, DraftKings and FanDuel, yeah, they're in with the mafia, the money mafia, and Disney and ESPN and hundreds of millions, and nobody else can even reach those places. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I've got them, and I'll bet on them more than that big money, because as time passes, the most efficient. Nobody ever talks about the cost of operation of us against them. It's nothing compared to them. And in the long run, a business that has very little operating costs versus one that has huge operating costs is going to win. We're going to win based on that, because businesses, it's all about operating costs and efficiency. So we're going to have the greatest product in the world with the greatest cost structure on the planet, with the most passionate people, because they're all investors, and all these investors came, from $100, $200, $500. Now some people are up many thousands of dollars, and if you got in right now, well, you'll be one of them later. So I think that we're okay there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, Michael Van Dienstein. This is his second question. What would happen when the majority of players on the platform withdraw No Limit Coin 2 to their wallets and hold the coin? Could the platform funds run dry?
You mean from the he means from the crypto fantasy sports, right?
Yes, yes.
Um, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You get your coin out, you leave it some so you can keep playing. You're essentially mining for coin. I mean, there's different ways. We set this method up where you're gonna mine the coin through playing our platform and expanding. So I don't think that that can happen because first of all, you get 10 free NLC when you register, and if you notice, that whole crypto, deflationary uh, path is happening already. Now we went from 50, which seemed like nothing, and now it's 10. But it's still, I don't want to pay more than $2 per registration. Actually, I want to be at $1. So I said, all right, fine, 10. It's still, 180, $1.80 or $1.70. So if we're gonna hit 1,000 registrations a day, we're spending $2,000 a day on that. But that is 2,000 registrations. So we'll go with that. But eventually, we're comfortable with about $1. So really, you can't really run out of NLC, and the players are going to find value. Players that know fantasy are going to be able to send NLC back in, and I see a lot of that. They take it out, they send it back in, and now they get the deposit, but then they have to play it, so they're risking it. So you've got to measure it, but I don't think that can happen because people want to play. Now, if you personally want to withdraw everything, hey, you're free to do that, and it's fine and no problem. That's the whole point of everything. So I don't think that that's going to happen. It can't. There's
There's
millions
millions of coin
in
in
the
the
platform.
platform,
But
but
by the way, those aren't like the platform and the balances. That's not real coin. The coin is safely stored in the cryptographic wallets. The game in itself, there's no coin in there. It's just the balances that then once the withdrawal is requested goes to another app and then we pull it out of the wallet. So it's not, and there's a lot of coin in there because every registration coins getting given, and then some of those contests we've got add-ons going on, so the odds to win are very good. So I don't think that can happen.
Okay.
And
and
of
of
course,
course,
you saying, and what if we keep it? Well, that's what you should all do. I mean, it doesn't make sense to do all this work and then go sell it for a little bit of money. How many of us? I mean, we've seen the memes, or we've seen one of those, one of Dan's favorite, where it says, "Oh, I sold my NLC at 100 or something." I mean, what's the
the
point?
point,
I know people that work their butts off through the game last year and then the year last year, and they participated and they built up a couple of 100,000 or something, and then boom, they sold it for 200-300 bucks, and now they're crying, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, so I don't think that's going to happen, and it's good. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pull the coin in, drop it into your local wallet, stake the coin, and don't touch that, and let it just appreciate.
Yep. All right. Tim Icon, second question. What kind of decisions do you find most difficult to make in No Limit Coin 2?
Wow. That's um it's been very easy because I have you guys. I mean, I've never been in a situation that I'm just what should we do? I mean, there's always like great answers as to what we should do. Um I mean, I hate, I hate letting coin go. That I do. I don't care how many, but hey, I have to, right? Um, the difficult, dude, that's a hard one. Um, you know what? There's nothing difficult. It's almost like the path is so clear in front of me, and now with the group in Slack and all these teams where you've got all these pros doing the different things that a corporation needs. There's nothing hard about it. And what could be hard about, people, those memes that you guys did, and now I got my own emoji, and I got all these new friends that are voting yes to this whole thing that I've been on for 4 years. I mean, and I presented this to, different groups, and they would just look at me like, "What? Why are you doing this? Isn't DraftKings and Yahoo?" And I said, "I don't know why I'm doing it, because it just seems like it needs to get done. That's why I'm doing it." And then when the crypto got into the mix and we put it in there, and it's still people would like, "Huh, huh, huh." But then you got, the people that, because this is when people that don't know about crypto, and we're talking to them, "Come on, invest a few $1 million. Look, this is a coin." And people would just like, what?" And those, I mean, and now they're like, "Raphael, what's going on with your coin?" I said, "I told you." I said, you didn't, I remember a guy that said, "Hey, let me send you $100 worth of coin." I think it would have been like, I don't know, thousands and thousands. And he never got his wallet to me. And now it's like, "Hey, what about those $50?" I'm like, "Yeah, you'll get $50 at today's prices, not at yesterday's prices." So there's absolutely nothing hard about this. Well, hard was before. That was very hard. It was very hard because I had to push this whole thing. Yeah, my wife also. Absolutely. I mean, my investor, my wife, uh, and everybody were just like, "What's going on with you? Are you going to do this again this year?" I said, "Yeah, we're going to do it every year, and that's that." And then, of course, we know the rest was history. So yeah, that was hard for 4 years. So, three and a half of those years, it was basically, you got feast or famine, right? That was famine. And I went through, I mean, that's why the wife, I mean, you asked about the wife. Yeah, when you have to sell your assets off and you're down to the lower, and that's hard. But then the sun rises, and things clicked. But I was never doubtful of that. I was never doubtful. I knew that once we got out, that's why I kept pushing my investor, and he was like, "I don't know, I don't know." And now my investor's kicking in money. Like, he doesn't even, like, he sends me money, and he increased it 4 times. Now he's very happy at what's going on. I showed him the Slack group and everything we're doing. I showed him the mins. He laughed a lot. So he's like, "Boom, here's," he basically said, "Here's 100 grand, go do whatever you need to do." Okay. So we got a backer that, because he does not want me to touch the coin, period. I mean, he said, "No, no." He said, "It's $5 or nothing." Because he's already been there and done that. He's got a lot of money. So anything under that doesn't seem, exciting to him. So whatever we're gonna do, it has to be big, or else we're not going to be satisfied. So there were hard times. Yeah, of course, the whole process, when you don't know, I mean, you're doubt every single night, you're sitting with all your programmers and you have no idea if this thing's going to fly. You believe in it, but when it's not happening, and your funding is drying up, and your assets that you're selling off, are basically gone, and it's do or die. But it happened, and I expected that to happen. Actually, I knew that this was the season that things were going to evolve and expand. So I mean, it's kind of going up to plan, but it was very hard up to the moment where everybody else confirms, because then your investor, your wife, right, she's like, "Okay, good." So yeah, there was a lot of hard. It's hard, but in terms of decisions and all that, it's very easy with Dan and the whole team. I mean, there's nothing hard about it. I just kind of like do whatever everybody wants, and that's easy for me. No problem. I mean, I'll do this for the rest of time. This is the greatest thing. I mean, I've tried to have businesses throughout, but there's nothing like this, and it's all about the team and the quality and the passion and the volunteer, like a volunteer army, they say, is the best, right? This is a volunteer group of people that have decided, "Hey, we're going to make this thing successful." And it's not just going and buying about the coin. There's so many other aspects associated with this coin, and everybody can help. And they are helping, and we invite them to come in and join the specialized groups, and we'll get you. I mean, you got something, you got something, we'll put it to use. And that's been the greatest. So up to now, it's been great.
Yep. And a cool thing, because about DraftKings, like, okay, if I want to go there and suggest an idea, who am I going to talk to? And the cool thing about No Limit Coin is you have people who are invested in a coin. It's like you can't invest in DraftKings. Yeah, you can go get some stocks, but it's not like this. So it's like you don't only have you have investors, you have players, you have passionate people, and they want to see the coin do good because they want to make money as well. They want to be a part of this. It's just very unique. And DraftKings and FanDuel and etc. are really on their last lifeline in my opinion.
Well, and I'd like Nick to create a room in there,
and we can call it DraftKings, FanDuel. I mean, we could call it whatever, and then let's get some people in there and let's start picking that stuff apart, and we're gonna hit him here, we're gonna hit him there, we can be competitive this way, that way. So we want to have, just like we've got teams now for every subject, let's get a team in there and let's all put our brains together and come up with the best ways to not to be competitive, to come up with the best game structures. We're going to have a game structure room where Jack and Dan and other people can come in and come up with different structures. And Philly D has been talking about double ups and triple ups. Hey Philly, great videos, and all the other guys that do our videos. I really appreciate that. So that's really that's
all right, so let's go ahead into Neil Palmer. What are subscriber number goals and current numbers?
I mentioned that we don't want to give out specific numbers. It's thousands now. We're getting hundreds a day, and our target is 1 to 2 million in 1 to 2 years. So that's where we want to be. We want to be at 2 million subscribers, which would still be half of DraftKings and FanDuel. And they're only operating mostly in the United States. We're operating all over the world. So I think that it's not a far-fetched number, but we're happy with registrations, even if advertising money is still a fraction of what it's going to start being, including TV, including a lot more digital advertisement, including China. I haven't even talked about that. Dharmesh, he's translating he's got somebody translating. The whole site's going to be in Chinese, and we've got already advertisement network because Facebook doesn't operate in China. So China is going to be, it's the wild card, right? They love crypto, they love soccer. So that's something that we think 1 million subscribers is very doable. And yeah, it's not going to be tomorrow. So it's not tomorrow, and it's not going to be in 1 month, but eventually it will be. So I think that that's about our number, and it would still be a lot less than our competitors that have about 4 million each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a modest goal since we have the world market.
It's very. If you do the math, like if you take 2 million users and you say, okay, each one's got to have $25 of float, $25 times 2 million is 50 million, but most of the coin is being held and not let go. So the real circulation is way, way, way smaller than what's out there. So you take the real circulation and you take the amount of money that needs to live inside that circulation, and you come up with $1 or $2.
Yeah, very, very quickly, very easily. Van's next question, or second question: how do you plan to reach out to parts in Asia with regards to partnerships? I am based in South Asia.
That's the best question. All of them are great. Yeah, I just talked about China, but it's not just China, right? It's a lot of other countries that love soccer, love crypto. Korea is going crazy for crypto. They're the biggest. The Korean exchange right now is number one every single day, and all of the run-ups have been because of the situation over there. So everybody in Korea is just loading up on Bitcoin like there's no tomorrow. But that's kind of an artificial reason because of the problems over there. But I would love to have somebody from Asia come into our team, and let's not just think China, because right now it's China. We already have the advertisement network. Brewing Hut's got that all lined up for us. we just need to have the game translated into Chinese, but we should also do the other Asian countries. And if there's anybody out there that wants to come in here and help and help us expand, I would invite them, because first we're going into China, but we do want to go into all of the other markets, and marketing has to be done locally. Yes, you can kind of blanket the world with Google and with Facebook, but it's not as effective as when you go into the local market and do local advertisement. And some of those soccer markets are very small, and we could easily get into TV and digital advertisement locally. So that's something I welcome. And if somebody wants to bring information or ideas as to how to expand into other markets, we're very, very interested. Well, get into the Slack room for advertisement and say, hey, I'm from Asia, I'm going to help you guys. Perfect.
Hey, and don't sit on the sidelines, guys. Like, if you can do this, and don't sit back and be like, oh, that could have been me. Like, step up if you have the skills. We're looking for people, and this is the time to get in on a corporation very, very early. Philly D. This is from Philly D. Speaking of Philly D, Philly D Fantasy Sports. Question for Rafael: would you rather see No Limit Coin 2 as a top 20 coin, or see your favorite NFL team win the Super Bowl?
Right on, Philly D. I mean, are you kidding me? Look, I was a Charger fan since, I think, birth. I still remember that Dolphin game, in 80-something, with Fouts and Winslow and Jefferson. Well, he left. And I loved the team, and it was great. And when I talked to people, I didn't want to know about fantasy sports. Now, as soon as my friends got me into fantasy sports, I mean, I could be watching a Charger game, and I'll be honest, I always wanted my team to win first. So it's not even close. It's not even close. The coin is really, it's all about the coin. Chargers made it once to the Super Bowl, but that was an embarrassment. So it's not even close. And with fantasy sports, the loyalties change. I mean, my wife was like, "What? You don't want them to score?" I said, "No, I don't want them to score because of this. I don't have the player, or I've got the other player." It's so convoluted. You don't even know who to root for, because you're rooting for individual players, and the bragging rights on my buddy Fantasy Sports is excruciating. And that, if and here's a question that hasn't been asked, and I'm going to ask it and answer it. Why'd you do it? Why did you do it? And here's the answer to that. So my friends bring me into the fantasy, and I became the bitch. I mean, it was horrible. It was embarrassing. And of course, they love that. They always like to, because I've seen it happen to other newbies. The new guy always gets, all the nasty stuff and just intense smack. So for years and years, I came in last, next to last. And then one year I got lucky, got Peyton Manning and got a bunch of running backs. Boom, I won it. And of course, from then on, respect. But all of that nastiness and negative energy made me realize that this thing had so much energy in it. And I saw not only us, but all the other groups, how it became so important to people, and that's all they talk about, and it's an intense subject, and you're watching TV, and it's fantasy this, fantasy that, fantasy the other. And I realized that the amount of energy in this thing was so big that I wanted to be part of it. That's it. So yes, Philly D, I would like to have the coin be. I'll take top 30, or you know what? I just want to stay. I mean, yeah, I want to go top 10, but I'll even take top 100 and not have the Chargers win. I'm already in the Super Bowl, so I don't need the Super Bowl anymore. Now, talking about the Super Bowl, I mean, we got to figure out a way to get a little Super Bowl contest going and maybe get somebody over there, but I haven't committed to that, so don't start telling me. But it would be nice.
Yeah.
So yes, I would rather have the coin be top 20 Philly D. Thank you for the question.
All right, Lee Baxter. Hi, what's the best thing I can do as an investor new to crypto to help No Limit Coin 2 excel to its full potential?
That's an easy question. You always want to buy into crypto slow, just because you want to catch the ups and the downs. So if you're interested in investing in the coin, then that would be something very welcome by me, by everybody else. And you just got to go out there, get your Bitcoin, and start buying up, go easy, get the best price, and invest over days, not in one single shot, because the prices get out of whack. Now with the volume increasing every day, and we're up to about 100,000. We've had $600,000 days. We've had $200,000 days. Once you have good volume, then you don't have to be so careful with that. Same thing when you sell. You want to sell slow. You never want to just boom, do a dump, and then, because then you get paid less for your coin. When you sell all at once, you go way down into the cheap buyers. So you want to kind of sit there and just pick off the best deal for a little bit. So that's what you can do. You go in there, you start buying up, you show up in our Slack room, you tell us, hey, I'm in, I bought coin, boom, your family. That's how. And you come and help us, not just buy coin and invest, but come and help us get into the Slack room. Tell us how you can help the project, through blogs, through talent, through telling people about it, through your referral link where you get 25% of whatever the person spends, and whatever we make off of your referrals, you're going to get 25% of that. So that's also a very positive thing, and telling your friends about it, and giving your friend, that's the easiest thing. You give out 5 No Limit coin to your friends, and at that point they're like, what is this? Where can I get more? So that's how you go in. Yes, buy, but you have to propagate the message. That's how.
I've gotten many new people into crypto by giving them free No Limit Coin. It's the quickest way.
That's it.
Connor Brill, what as a community can we do to help No Limit 2 grow and make more people aware of it? And then, okay, so he has 2 questions he wrote at once. We basically just kind of talked on that. Basically just want to get involved. Social media, let people know, compounding awareness. You let 2 friends know, they let 2 friends know before you know it, everybody in the community knows, and just get out there, be aggressive. See, if you really believe in the project, that's your investment. The squeaky wheel gets fixed, so you're going to want to, let people know about it. That's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and get to a second question. Connor,
let me add to you, Dan. I mean, there's something that I don't think we're doing enough of, and that is writing comments on sports-related articles. So that could be something that you guys could go out there, like, as a huge army, and start posting, not spamming, because we don't want to spam, but when there's a game and there's an article, go in there and post, hey, this game was good because of this, because of that, and then you can add, hey, you could play fantasy sports here, get some coin. That's very effective, because if the article gets a lot of viewership, a certain percentage of the people that read the article will go down and read the comments. So that's something very positive, and it's free, and it could get us a lot. And you can post your referral link. So that's something that would be super helpful. Go to the soccer news websites and start making comments. Do a little bit about the current situation of whatever that article is, so we don't become spammers. And then add, hey, we've got the game, we've got the coin, visit us. That would be very, very helpful. Anybody or everybody just to go out there and goal.com. There's a lot of sites that allow the comments on the articles, some don't. So the ones that do, boom, you go there.
That's actually absolutely.
And that's how we're going to capture a lot of people, a lot.
Yeah, very true. Very good. Okay, Connor Brill. How do you guys plan to expand the coin globally as far as marketing and advertising? Thanks for everything.
We're talking to XBTCE to have our coin listed there. We're talking about the Central card to be part of them. We are looking at a couple of exchanges in Asia to get in. We are certainly, our number one objective in terms of exchanges is Bittrex, and I'm in contact with them, and now I'm going to get more information to them about what we're doing about, and explain our that we are covered by a legal opinion that has certified our game and gave us essentially a license. So yes, there's a lot to be done. There's no question about that. It's a combination of true paid advertisement through advertisement agency and through our channels, and of course the organic, just word of mouth posts by all of us. So I think if we combine those two things, then we can be successful all over the world. And we want to get into some exchanges like I was mentioning, Binance and XBTCE and Allcoin are the three that we're working in Asia right now. And we've got somebody that wants to help us get into a few other ones, so we're evaluating that. And certainly advertisement in the crypto area. So that we definitely are planning to do, just run advertisement. And I've saw a bunch of new ads and they're really, really nice. So yeah, there's no question that that's really where it's at. We need to get out there and keep the market aware about our coin and what it's used for and how it's growing and how it will grow even more to more sports and more platforms.
Yep.
And the team we have, and both on the fantasy and on the crypto side. So it's good there too.
Cool. Okay. Choices stores. Any plans for Africa?
Well, the site's open. So if you're in Africa, you can play. We haven't studied exactly. I don't have numbers in terms of how many people we actually have in Africa. It'll probably be an interesting analysis, but I think it goes back to the same thing. We need to find people in different markets that want to step up to the plate, want to join the project, and then that's how we could get in there. Besides the blanket advertisement that Facebook and some of those massive networks provide, we need to get into there locally. So same thing that we mentioned right now. If we can get, if you're out there and if there's a few people, get into our Slack room, get into the advertisement rooms, and let's get some advertisement moving in that direction. I mean, really, there's really no markets that we don't want to be in, because crypto, if you were to tell me it's just fantasy sports, that's a whole different ballgame. You focus on the sports fans, but these days, when you add the crypto aspect to it, everybody will become a fan overnight. And we've got guys that never even knew NFL fantasy. His name's easy. It's NFL newbie. He's out there. He's listening. Man, that guy's been making some serious cash. And his name basically says, I'm new here, but I think he won this week again or something. So I've been, writing him some pretty good NLC withdrawals. So we want in. We want into Africa, and Africa or anybody else has to have crypto. I mean, that's our thing, right? Every man, woman, and child eventually must own crypto. It's the only way the world's going to work going forward. So we have to get in there, and the rest. So bring us some ideas, bring us some advertisement channels, and we'll get in there. Especially the local markets that sometimes offer very inexpensive ways to advertise, even on television. Hey, we're happy to do that.
Yep, cool. Yaki, are you planning to sponsor sports teams in the future, or what kind of advertisement do you consider to make in 5 years?
That's we haven't I haven't computed to that point, but I think it would be something very interesting. So let's talk to Real Madrid and see what the deal for the shirt is. I know what the deal is. It's $57 million a year. So Yeah, that would be awesome if we could get our name on some sports teams as sponsors. I mean, that would be huge. So as we move forward, um, we must evaluate those options also. And if there's a deal out there for a team, let's look at it. Yes, that's a great idea. I haven't thought about that, but I think it's a great idea where we could go and sponsor a team, get them to wear our logos, and then have that exposure. That would be very, very significant. And maybe we can't get into the Spanish league or the Premier League. Maybe we could get into less expensive. Maybe in Mexico, get one of the not such top teams, and then go from there. And then we can show that to other sports franchises. But that would be exciting. That would be exciting if we would sponsor a team. That would be exciting. I mean, let's get some stuff on some bike riders. Why not? So we need to go in all of the directions. I mean, we're even kicking around an idea to be, to wrap a big bus with the logos, go to the tailgate parties with that, have that thing roll around in the freeway, and basically get the word out, let people know there's a coin and there's a game, and then from there people will figure out themselves. So whatever anybody can bring to the table, to the party, in terms of different avenues, they're very welcome. And certainly a deal with a team would be very interesting. So we're open. We're in acquisition mode. So something like that could be very good.
Cool. All right. XP brought this to my attention. Fantasy is growing in Europe, being based in Europe myself. How do you plan to target this market? Would you be interested in partnering with upcoming startups to integrate the coin from the get-go? This is from Danny MLT.
The answer is yes. We want to get NLC2 coin into as many platforms as possible, and we're willing to help them, and we can help them. I mean, if you bring us a startup that makes sense and it looks good, we'll put some coin in there and let it start developing and grow. So we're wide open in terms of that. And in terms of Europe, it's kind of the same answer as how do we get into Asia and how do we get into all the other places. And I think we've got a couple of tailgate party people already in Europe that plan to go to the games and do, set up the stand, have the gear, get some free drinks. Because again, the deal is you do a tailgate party, we'll pay you $750. You use $250 of that for drinks that you want to give away. So you're sitting there with your NLC gear and fantasy gear. You got your little booth. Now you got $250 worth of drinks that you're going to give people, so everybody's going to gravitate to you. Now you're talking about registering for fantasy, and you're going to get, and if they register under you, they're going to get extra coin. So I'm very interested in those tailgate parties. So whoever wants to do them, essentially it's $750 per time, and you get a one-time $250 amount, so you can go get your gear for 3 people. So yes, Europe is really the center of the soccer world for sure, and it's a lot bigger than the NFL. If you just Europe itself has more viewership and more people and more market cap. Real Madrid is worth, I think, twice as much as the Cowboys or some number like that. Has 400 million followers on Facebook. It's crazy. So we want to go into all of the markets, and we'd love to talk to startups that would make sense, or not. Doesn't have to be startup. It could be an ongoing platform that says, "Hey, we want to get into crypto. What do we do?" Well, you come to No Limit Coin because we're going to help you out. That's really where, that's the number one place. New platforms, new uses, more demand. It's a very simple business. We're down to one business subject: consumption of NLC2. Business is very easy when you have one objective and you don't have like 50 of them. So we have one objective, and everything we do is geared towards demand on the coin, and of course demand through our game. And we're going to be making good money just on the fees. So Europe, yes, we need to get in there. Yes, we want to participate with other platforms, and if they're startups, we can help them. If we like it, we'll go for it.
Okay, cool. Jerica asks, when is No Limit Coin 2 or Crypto Fantasy Sports do a deal with other coins like Dogecoin or 10x so players have easier way to spend or pay for services with No Limit Coin 2?
You know, we thought about putting multiple coins into the game, but that was when NLC2 didn't have the exposure, and we thought, okay, we'll put in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that'll give exposure to the coin. But now that NLC2 has its own platform of its own stage, and it's now a coin that's basically looked at, and it's top 100. I think, my investors was right. I mean, on day one, he's like, I just want my coin in there. I'm like, oh, sure, but we should also have Bitcoin because it's so okay, fine. But now I actually agree with him. We should the website says exclusively No Limit Coin. So I understand it'd be nice to be liquid against all the other currencies, but what we want is pure demand for NLC2. And there's already so many exchanges, and people already know how to move coin and how to trade it for one or the other. And for us, it's a big deal, the difference. So we don't want to bring more coins. We want to basically be exclusive to NLC2. And if you want to trade for those coins, all you need to do is, and some of the exchanges actually have pairs with Litecoin, with a couple of other ones. It's not just, but the prices aren't that good because the volume is not good. So most of the time you got to go into Bitcoin and then back into whatever other coin that you want to do. So yeah, at this point we were going to stick to NLC2 as far as the eye can see. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, Jesse Wood. I think we have about, I don't know, I think 20 more questions. Jesse Wood, how do you intend to connect with people who are not in crypto space to make the barrier to entry as easy as possible? Cheers.
Well, we're gonna do television advertisement, and that's far, not just from crypto. It's far away from a computer. It's not like you're sitting there clicking. So there is that bridge that we're gonna see if we can bridge people in, but certainly that's the market we all need to think about, the non-crypto market, because it's a lot bigger than the crypto market itself. I mean, so it seems like in the United States, it's like only less than 1% really know about crypto. So I would love to explore that angle, which is trying to reach out to markets that are not immediately related. What happens when you do that is you spend more money and you don't convert as much. But that's really the answer to all the crypto, not just ours, to bring in the other 99% or 98% of the people that are still not into it. So yes, we need to find a way to communicate to them. And we're going to try to make fantasy exactly that. And we'll be the first coin to be on mainstream primetime television in the United States to talk about a crypto coin. Not even Bitcoin is on television right now on any of the commercials in terms of mainstream. So we're definitely going to try to bridge that gap, because that's the easiest market of all. The people that don't know about it, you tell them about it, boom, they're hooked. So that's kind of the way to go. And I agree. We have the crypto market, which is the instant one, the one that you can convert right away, the one that you don't need to tell anything. Boom, they're in. And then you got all the other people that like have no clue what it is, but I've heard of Bitcoin, and then you try to ease them in, hopefully. But yeah, it's a big challenge, and some people want to understand it, some people don't want to understand it, but we want to follow that path of. And if you really think about, I mean, the way I see this, it's like the ultimate thing we're really doing is that we're educating people about crypto. That's really what we're doing, and in the process getting them to be part of our coin, which is what financially we want to do. In the middle, there's the fantasy, and as fantasy moves into NFL, it's going to be huge, and the numbers are going to be incredible. So yeah, it's going to be all about fantasy then, and then the coin will just be kind of following. But it's all about both games. But those are excellent points. Excellent.
Okay, cool. All right, Van, are there going to be local language versions of the website? E.g., I want to intro to my networks in Thailand and put off a language barrier.
Good point. We've got Spanish. We're doing Chinese. We've got English. And anybody like you that says, I want a game in my market, should come into our Slack rooms and let's discuss it. Because yes, we want to be local and have the translated game for any market that we feel is ripe. So if that's one of the cases, then we would certainly move in that direction. We eventually want to have not just those 3 languages, but more. The European languages, the Asian languages. I mean, anywhere we need to go, we should have the ability to have the language in the local language to precisely bring in as many players as possible. That's a great point. And I got to think ahead of that, because we're okay, English, Spanish, Chinese, and then it's like no, we got to keep going. We got to get all the other languages in there, and it's really not that hard. So I agree. We should put that on the list and basically decide what are the languages that we want to start with. I mean, is it your country or is it the other one? That's something that we'll decide as a group, and then go from there. So I guess we should take 2 or 3 languages at a time and say, okay, we're going to do these 3, and then we'll do these other 3, and pretty soon we'll have all of them. So that's a great point. I mean, if we want to go worldwide, we've got to have the languages. We can't just assume that English is automatic and everybody knows. We can't. I agree.
Okay, excellent. Clam Frankel, when will the people in New York be able to play in all the places that are not allowed to?
We're going to get a license. That's one of the states we're getting licensed for, and our attorney is doing that. So it could happen very quickly. New York, yes.
Excellent.
I think it'll happen before the end of the NFL season. We'll have 7 more states. New York, one of them.
Boom.
Yes.
That's absolutely massive. Okay. Skrilla, given the link between No Limit Coin 2 and China, will No Limit Fantasy Sports consider adding the Chinese Superstar League or the Chinese Super League to soccer?
That's a very good point. I mean, that's really kind of up to us, to everybody. Like, I mean, it sounds totally like anything that has China associated seems to be, yes, we want to do it. And the way our game is structured and the architecture, it's very easy to bring in other sports. And all the leagues around the world now have the data feeds, so that's not a limitation. I think it would just have to be something where we just all decide, yeah, let's do this. It makes sense. I mean, if we could come up with a plan to come up maybe with just a fantasy platform just to service that league and not mix it with the other leagues, I'm not sure if that's the way to go. Or do we just bring in the Chinese league and mix it in with all the other leagues? That's a great question. And that might be the way to enter China, not so much with our own game, but to get their leagues into the platform. So if anybody out there, has an in with that, and I'd like to hear about the demographics. But again, anything China is, the demographics are through the roof, right? So should we do it? Can we do it? I mean, are we going to do it? I mean, anything China these days, it just seems like, yes, let's do it. We're doing the Chinese language, but now what you're saying is, can we get the Chinese league in there? It makes sense, and we're willing to do it, and we can do it. So let's continue this discussion, get into Slack and start talking about it.
Cool. Yeah, Skrilla is a OG member, so that's a good question. Opposite day 5. Are there any plans in place to make it easier for those who are new to crypto and don't own any Bitcoin to buy No Limit Coin, as in a direct transaction from USD to No Limit Coin without having to buy Bitcoin first?
Excellent question. Yes, we wish that was possible. And it's, I'm still not there. We're not there yet. We have to check legality of that. But it could happen. It could happen to where we'll be willing to take not just Bitcoin, but also dollars. And yes, that would be very important because we would eliminate the complexity of getting into Bitcoin and just make it an on-ramp right into No Limit Coin. So yes, I'm going to talk to our attorney about that. If we certainly, there's no way we could do it with credit card or PayPal because they don't allow crypto. And that we're going to have our dollar platform with Visa, MasterCard, with PayPal pretty soon. And we can't even, I don't think you're probably not even going to know that crypto exists when you're playing that. Well, you will. We're going to advertise about it. But, the Visa, MasterCard people made it very clear. And we promised, we gave them a promissory letter that says we absolutely will not use that platform to sell crypto. But so the only way to do that would be basically if people could come in and send you a bank deposit or deposit into a bank account, and it might just be that, where you're like, okay, we don't have Visa, but you know what? Go to the bank, deposit the money, and then we can do it. So I'd like to do that. We're not there yet. We have to check the legality. Will it be successful? It's hard to know because it's not that easy where you have to go to the bank and do the deposit. But people do crazy things for crypto and they're willing to do a lot of things. So I would say right now it's not available. And I would say I would love for it to be available. And I would also say we're looking into it. And I would also say that if we can do it, we're going to do it like yesterday. Yeah. Because that's it. We closed the gap. Dollars, fiat directly into NLC2 is a big deal because most coins don't have that ability. Everything goes through Bitcoin. But in our case, we're a real corporation in the United States with bank accounts, and we're covered under our opinion letters. The banks know what we're doing. So it might be that we could get to that point at some point, maybe in this season. I'd love to. That's a great point. Excellent. The best.
Excellent. Okay. Philly D Fantasy Sports. Question 2. Will the new platform be available before NFL or NBA?
We're gonna shoot for 9/7 is NFL, so that's that's only 2 weeks. It could happen. Maybe it won't happen on day 1 of NFL, but certainly in September. No doubt about it right now. It will happen. We're already looking at all the different UIs and the new structure, and it's mind-boggling and it's incredible. And we can do it because basically we're just going to reskin the site with the new look, and of course make the back-end adjustments that everybody wants. But in terms of the look and feel, it's not that's not that hard, and the material that is coming out of our people is just incredible. I just saw a few of the ads, so I'm really excited. Initially I was like, oh no, we're going to do this, but then when I started seeing the material that was coming out from our designers, I was like, whoa. So before the end of September, you're going to have the whole thing's going to be upgraded. We're going to do like We'll do even a ribbon cutting ceremony, even if it's the middle of the season, because it will be a watershed moment. It will be a leap from where we are now. You're going to be like, this is better than DraftKings, okay? That's how you're going to see this. So, Philly D, you got it.
Excellent. Okay, Shakira, what are plans for improving the desktop wallet client?
Look, that wallet is a legacy wallet. It's been around for a long time. A lot of coins use it. So it's a very solid wallet in terms of reliability. But granted, there's a lot that wallet needs, a lot. And as we're building out our infrastructure in terms of teams, that's one of the top priorities to improve that desktop wallet a lot in many aspects in terms of, I mean, when I say a lot, I'm just saying maybe small things. So that whole out of sync aspect, doesn't. Yeah, I even get like, what's going on here? And people are smart naturally. So if 50 people are asking the same question, it's because there's a sequence problem. So that has to get resolved or explained at least to whoever's using it. The other thing we need to do is we want to create a tool that regenerates the blockchain, because we've had a couple of times where communication gets cut off and then the blockchain gets corrupt, and then you get that blockchain error, and then you have to go through a process to regenerate. So I want there to be a tool that when that happens, you just press the button, and what it'll do is basically delete the blockchain and just kill the blockchain, and then just re-download the new one without having to create like a new folder, a new wallet, and then copy the wallet over. So we're working on that tool. We're working on somewhere where we can explain that the out of sync thing isn't a problem. It's totally normal. And what it is, it's basically catching up. The blockchain is catching up to the present. That's all that's happening. So yeah, the first day that you open your Windows wallet, you're like, what's going on here? And it does take hours sometimes because of the way that the file is built. So that's a very important question, and we're building our crypto development team as we speak in order to improve not just the desktop wallet, but get that Android wallet. I mean, we've got the Android wallet already, so we want to get that. It's pointed to NLC1. We just need to point it to NLC2, and it'll work. And then, of course, we want the iOS app also. So we want to improve the desktop wallet. We're on the Mac issues. Some versions work, some others don't. We're going to resolve that, and we're going to clean up the local wallet with different things just to get over these items with the out of sync, with the blockchain corrupt, and of course whatever input can come from the group, we're very happy to do that. So it's a good question. We have to do something, but it's a good wallet. It works. It's worked for many, and that's the most important thing. When something's been tested over time. But it's a great point, and I'm not happy with where we are there. So we do have to improve it.
Okay, excellent. The Fiscos. When someone purchases No Limit coin directly from the site, how are the coins going to be bought from the exchanges? From which exchanges will they be bought? What happens if they don't have enough volume? So we'll wrap that into one big question.
Basically, we've only been what we do is we're in Yobit, right? Because that's where the most volume is. I mean, I've got accounts in all the other ones. I kind of look in there once in a while and see if I could buy something cheap. But it's really right now we have to kind of go where the volume is, and that way the spread between bid and ask is tighter. So the way we do this is when you buy coin through the site, we'll take 80% of, because we sell it at 10% over ask, which is like 20% over bid, and then we take 80% of that and buy NLC2 at Yobit, and then we're going to keep 20% as basically a fee for the company. So in terms of that, the money will circulate back into the exchanges, and we've got like a rolling inventory. So let's say we have 100,000 coin, so then we sell 1,000. Okay, we take that money, go to the exchange, get the 1,000, get it back into this special wallet that's basically circulating a specific amount. So that's the most delicate. I mean, the most delicate thing in the world in terms of me is taking $1 out of an exchange. It's like a no-no. It's the worst thing we can do for the coin. I mean, you have to do it, and it has to be liquid, and people have to go in there and be able to buy and sell it. Okay, it's liquid, it's liquid. But from our point of view, it's like we never want to do that, at least for now. So we do want to cycle it, but what we want to do is always buy, and it's the same inventory that's circulating, and you can see it. I mean, we don't touch our coins. You can see it by the inavailability of the coins. You can see the wallets. I mean, they're out there. We actually send. You'll see coin moving into the big wallet every week, and what it is, it's all the stuff we're buying. We're buyers, so whatever we buy, it's like suck it in there. 10,000, boom, get it in there like that. And it's cool because I feel really good about that because we're accumulating more ourselves, and we don't stake. So that we don't want to add additional coin unnecessarily to the blockchain.
Okay. Eddie asks, according to FSTA, the demographic for fantasy sports shows 66% of the players are men, 38 to 36-year-olds, with 51 of them making over $75,000. How is our advertising department planning to bring them to the platform? So basically, middle-aged men with around 75K income.
Yeah, I mean, that's how when Time Warner said, where do you want to run your ads, we basically said we need to target the higher income level demographics in terms of that. And in terms of electronic marketing, you can do that. I don't know if we've narrowed it down to that point. Not Dan, he's our Facebook expert. I'm not sure if we're also if we're indicating, we do the markets and the interests, and you set up your audience. Now I don't know if we've also filtered into income level, right? So certainly you want to do that. You want your advertisement to be as narrowly focused as possible. And that's where we're targeting. But on the other hand, we have a much, much wider view of this whole thing, because remember, it's not about fantasy. It really isn't. Yes, it is, but it's really about NLC2. It's really about crypto. It's about the future. It's about the huge future of crypto. And once you start talking crypto, all those numbers are out the window, right? I mean, yes, for fantasy, that is correct. And we are going to target our advertisement to where we say, okay, we only want to target to. But on the other hand, crypto is a wild card here. And people, the guys, usually the guys that want to make the money are the ones that don't have it, the ones that are hungrier. So it's a good point. We're going to have to analyze the results that we achieve through our advertisement. Yeah, we might get a bunch of registrations from that demographic, but maybe the lower income demographics are way, way more interested in crypto. They're not just playing fantasy. They're out there, buying $50 or $100 worth of crypto because they're thinking, hey, I gotta plan my future. I want to invest in this thing. So that's something to think about. But yes, the reports, and we have a report that shows what you've described, which is a very, very it's like a very narrow demographic. But as fantasy becomes more and more popular, then it will expand. But yes, originally or initially, yes, that's the target that we have to go into, which is the existing market. But we're about the existing market and about new markets that crypto brings us to. So excellent points. Excellent points.
Okay. Crypto Gamer, holler at him. He has a nice YouTube channel. My question is, with the future of fantasy sports and all the new innovations in technology, is it possible to integrate No Limit Coin 2 betting to a virtual reality settings even further with video games like Madden or Street Fighter or NBA, etc., since esports is a big market?
Well, we can't do that because, online gambling is illegal. That's for starters. So you can't do that. The whole peer-to-peer, what happens if it's, this one against that one, there's no house in the middle. That's a little bit of a gray area. So we can't. Now, what we can do is go into authorized legal online gaming venues that might not be in the United States, but might operate their gaming venues in other countries legally, which wouldn't affect our legal status in the United States. That could be the case. And that's actually the case that we're pursuing. We are pursuing multiple platforms that are gambling platforms, and we want No Limit Coin to circulate in there. But in terms of setting up a way to bet between peers using games, I think that's not doable at this point, and we don't want to cross any lines that we don't have to, because we've got the benefit of the law that says, okay, you can do fantasy, which is, it's still betting, right? I mean, you're putting up money, you could lose it, but because of the way fantasy came down, it's legal in the United States and in most countries. So at this point, we can't really rush into stuff like that. Although it does seem logical and would be great, we have to kind of go a little slow and stay within the box that the law says, okay, this is fantasy, okay, we can be there. This isn't fantasy, we can't be there. That's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. I'm skipping over some of the redundant questions, so sorry if you see me skip your question. It was already asked, and people get the first right. Kenneth asked, the Westgate in Vegas runs a handicapping contest for the NFL that draws thousands of entrants buying in at $1,500 a person. Is this something that could be done, and if so, is it being considered?
You mean, what is the contest again? It's
a handicapping contest. I'm not sure. You know what that is?
Yeah, where you're basically, trying to figure out who's good. You mean to win the division or the Super Bowl or what are they handicapping?
Yeah, that's. I think that was it. Just says the NFL draws thousands of entrants buying in.
Yeah, we can't.
Right? I mean, that's the whole point of Vegas, that they've got the whole gambling thing down, and you want to gamble, you got to do it over there. And you step one foot outside those casinos, and you're a criminal.
Yeah.
So we can't really go outside of what we're doing now. Now, one day, is a casino in Vegas one day going to get smart and say, we also use crypto for our games? That would be great. But they're so regulated and they're so under the microscope that who knows how long that will be. Now, there's other casinos in other markets that could be an interesting venue for such a project. And I've had some discussions, not deep discussions, but just general discussions with people that have these gaming parlors down in Mexico with all the slot machines. So there's been some ideas thrown around, but Vegas, we can't really do what they do or duplicate what they do, because the whole point is that's where gambling, none of that gambling is legal outside. And again, it goes back to, why are we able to do this? Because fantasy sports got through in terms of legality, and now we can go out there and have our own casino. So that's pretty good. But at this point, we can't really duplicate that game. No.
Excellent. Okay. Pontus, hey, at what point would you declare crypto fantasy sports and NL2 a complete success, and what kind of events and or actions would you have in place to get us there?
Phew. Well, it's like, it's like a marathon race, and I feel we're in first place, right? So yeah, you can't claim success now. Um, long Longevity, duration is the true test of success. So I guess we can claim success at the end of the season if everything goes smoothly and worked. The platform, I mean, it's there. So I would say at the end of the NFL season, we could definitely, do a little pause and say, okay, is this a success or is it not a success? We certainly can't claim victory now because we're so far away from our ultimate potential. Now, are we successful now? Yes. But it's not, it's like a race, right? It's a marathon and we're in first place. So it's still a long way to go. But we're doing great. So it feels successful. It is. The passion from the people around is pure success. We just have to keep it there. That's what they say, right? Getting there is hard. Staying there is harder. We got somehow we're there. Now we got to stay there and keep climbing.
Excellent. Okay, Rado Crypto. Many states now have a piece of the pie and are looking to tax fantasy sports revenue. How would No Limit and No Limit Coin 2 work around these possible impending license regulations?
No, we're not working around them. We're working with them. So basically, it's like this. So there's about 25 states that have either banned or regulate fantasy sports. And then there's 25 states that don't. So our legal opinion basically covers us for the ones that don't. And for the other states that have banned it or licensed it, we will get. So right now, we've started with the first 7 states. Our investors writing the check for 20 grand for that, 3,000 a state for the attorney, and we'll be in there, and we will be paying all the fees according to every state. And it's kind of ridiculous in some places because, I mean, these fees are like way more than what you charge. But in the big scheme, in the big picture of things, we're not going to worry about that anymore because I've talked about it, how the equation totally changed. The equation originally was, okay, we're going to charge 10% of the fees, and credit card's going to take 5, and then they're going to hold another 5, and now we're underwater. And where's the profit? Well, it's from that 5 that you get, right? And then we said, well, if we do all these millions of dollars, we'll have profit. So there was profit there in there somewhere to be made. But then, as the moment NLC2 took off, and because I wasn't expecting that to happen until the game, but once it took off, then it becomes an investment vehicle, and it changes the equation. So now we're not going to care too much if, let's say, a state where they take all your profit away, and it might not be that big, and we might break even in that state. But in our minds and in our model, we're achieving our goal, which is the propagation of consciousness of NLC2. So that's why even the states like Texas, that basically it's banned and there's not even a law on the books. Hey, we're happy to run the no-cost fantasy sports platform because it's exposing people to NLC2 and to crypto. So we're getting our money's worth. We're achieving our goal. And when it comes to those states that have all these fees that we're going to have to pay for the action that happens in that state, we're also going to see that as just cost of doing business. And in the long run, as people learn about NLC2 and get into it, it's going to be a plus. That's how we see it.
Okay, that's gonna be the last question, guys. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to run this again. There's like 50 more questions, and it's already 2 hours. There's no way.
You know what?
I mean, I could do this.
Shout out to
forever.
Raphael. He is like freaking Rocky. He just keeps
Hey,
going.
this is
and
the
going.
funnest thing I've ever done. So you don't need to say anything. I mean, this is like, it's like, hey, it's like I wish. Never mind. But this is great. In all the things that you guys do, and from the emojis, from the memes, and all that. You know what? They're very motivating, and they do make me pause and then and give me a really good feeling and smile and all that. Because most of the time you're like this, right? You're like code and all these complaints, and it's like you're never done. But then when you take back a little bit and you smile a little bit, it's very, very nice. It's actually beyond nice. So I'm very motivated, and you guys, motivate me way, way beyond anything that's ever been there. And that's why, I have no trouble with, doing this and staying up and whatever hours need to happen. It's fun. It's great. And we can do this anytime.
Okay, my favorite two were Dan E's on scaling customer service. That was very intuitive, and I liked Skrilla on the Chinese soccer. That was very in depth to go into the game and have that kind of angle. Those were my two favorite. If I had to pick a winner, which one did you like out of those two? Did you like the?
You know what? I'm gonna let you pick. You've got the touch, but I agree. Those are the two. Those are the two good ones. I mean, you pick.
All right, I'm going to flip a coin. No one's going to be able to see me because my camera's not working. So you're going to have to trust, right? I'm not going to pick the guy named Dan because it's named Dan. I'm going to... All right, so Dan is heads and Skrilla's tails. And it is Skrilla. Dan has been heads up twice. I'm going to ship you some No Limit coin just because that's heartbreaking.
Consolation prize.
To lose 2 flips. I'm a poker player. I know how that feels. So congratulations, Skrilla. His question was, when are we going to add the Chinese Super League? Which was, I thought, a very in-depth question. So, and holler at Dan E. and everyone else. All these questions are amazing. We couldn't get to them all, guys. There was just so much. This was just so much. I plan to run this once a month. We're going to run something like this, and we're going to scale it. It may not be 2,500 No Limit coin every time because next month, God knows how much No Limit coin is going to be. But, we're going to keep it nice, and we're going to keep it a nice, it's going to be worth showing up. So, yeah, anything you want to add before we kill it, Russ?
Get into that Slack group. Get into, if you're itching to participate, you want to be part of this, get in there. I mean, there's room for everybody because we have a huge task on our hands, and get into the Slack rooms and start, participating. Absolutely. That's my message.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, nice long one. We're going to kill it here. Cheers. Peace. Bye. No Limit
Thank you
crew.
very much. It went by like that.
It did. Bye.